How do you stop living paycheck to paycheck? And it's surprising the amount of people that are actually living paycheck to paycheck right now. And you may be thinking that living paycheck to paycheck is basically when you just spend every single dollar you get paid every single week or every single month. But that's not actually what living paycheck to paycheck means. Living paycheck to paycheck simply means that if you lost your job today or whatever income source you have and you weren't able to satisfy all your financial obligations for the next 3 to 6 months, then that means you're currently living paycheck to paycheck. Because if you lost your income for a month or 2 months and you can't pay all your bills, then that is what living paycheck to paycheck means. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can stop this, how you can actually break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. And this way you can have like this security cushion where if you lose your job, if you lose your income, you won't be like on the street or homeless or anything like that. Now, I will say that most of this stuff is pretty basic, but some people just don't know it or they just don't think about it. So if you're struggling with money, I think you should definitely watch this video all the way to the end because it's going to be very helpful. Now, I just mentioned that living paycheck to paycheck doesn't necessarily mean that you're spending every single cent when you get paid. What it means is that you can't afford to go an extra month or 2 months or 3 months without getting paid. And for example, there are a lot of people that make a lot of money that are currently living paycheck to paycheck. So for example, right, there are doctors who are making 6 figures per year, probably like $250,000 per year. And they're living paycheck to paycheck because if they lost their job or if they couldn't practice for a month or 2 months, then they wouldn't be able to pay for their car, pay for their house, and pay for all the nice things that they have. And essentially, this means that they're just also living paycheck to paycheck. So it really doesn't matter how much money you make or what you do for a living, what your income sources are. The point is, if you don't have enough money in savings or if you can't maintain yourself for an extra month to 3 months, then you are living paycheck to paycheck. So I'm going to show you guys step by step how you can stop living paycheck to paycheck and how you can break the cycle. But before we do that, just a quick reminder, guys, if you are new to the channel, my name is Eann, and on this channel, I talk about ways to make money, ways to save money, ways to invest your money. I talk about bank accounts, credit cards, financial products, just about everything to do with personal finance. So if you like these videos, if you like these types of topics, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. It's 100% free, won't ever cost you anything. Also, be sure to subscribe with the notifications on. That way, you never miss the updates of when I post new videos. And if you guys ever want to talk to me one-on-one about this or just about anything else, you can message me on Instagram. The link is down below in the description. But with that said, let's jump right back into how you can break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck right now. Now, the first thing that you want to do here is you want to create a budget. And we're creating a budget because the first thing that we need to do is to find out how much money you're making. Maybe you already know how much money you're making, but you need to know where exactly your money is going, right? So you need to know what things you're spending your money on, and then you also want to know the frequency at which you spend your money on these things, and it's going to be like just a base to see what we can change or what we need to be doing moving forward. Now, this budget does not have to be anything complicated. It can be really simple. All you need is income on one side and then your expenses on the other side. And once you have your income, then you can start subtracting your expenses, and you want to itemize all your expenses every single week or every single month or every single day. And that way you can actually see what you're spending on. And at the end of everything, one of two things is going to happen here, right? So either one, you're going to have extra money left over every single week or every single month, or you're going to find that you don't have enough money to take care of all the expenses that you actually currently have. Now, to make this really simple, all you need to do is to get a sheet of paper. You're going to have two sides. One side, you're going to have your income streams, whatever you make money from, and you're going to list those. And then on the other side, you're going to have your expenses, but you're going to break your expenses into two parts. So on the top part, you're going to have all the necessary expenses that you need to survive on, like food, shelter, clothing, transportation, just everything that is required for your survival. And then below, you're going to have expenses that you want, but they aren't necessary to your survival. So probably, for example, a Netflix subscription could be an expense that isn't required for your survival, but you want it because you like it. Now, when you have your income streams on one side and you have your expenses on the other side, then at this point you can start breaking this down. Now, if you find yourself in the unfortunate situation where you create this budget and you realize that you're in the negative, meaning that after all your expenses you have negative money or you have no money left, then before you even start removing anything or thinking about removing anything from your expenses, you may want to start looking at your debts, and these are probably going to be in your expenses as well. But for example, if you have like credit card debt and loans, maybe you can reach out to the credit card companies or the banks and you can call them up and you can say, hey, you know what? I won't be able to make my payments on the next month because I just don't have enough money. I'm going through some bad times or rough times right now. Can you give me like a grace period of like 30 to 60 days, or can you lower my APR, or can you do something to help me temporarily, right? Can you put a freeze or a hold on this account for a month or 2 months while we negotiate this debt? And you may not always get a yes, but sometimes you may get lucky, so you just gotta ask and they may be able to lower your APR, lower the interest rate. Maybe you were paying all along and you're a good client, so they may lower that for you. Or they may even freeze your account and give you like a grace period of that 30 to 60 days to help you catch up. But this is something that you can do to temporarily give you some more wiggle room in your budget. Now, the next thing that you wanna do is you wanna create a system that allows you to spend a certain amount of money on certain categories. So for example, utilities. You want a budget and you need to have all the money stacked away to pay your utilities. For rent, you want to do the same thing. For groceries, you want to do the same thing. For clothing, you want to do the same thing. You want to do the same thing for just about every category of expenses that you're going to be having. Now, when it gets here, this can get a bit complicated if you're just using like a single bank account to do these things. So the first thing that you can do here is you can open a bank account somewhere where they give you like sub accounts, and you can have like an account and then you have several sub accounts. And when you get paid, you take all the money from your main bank account and you put the correct amount of money in each of the sub accounts. And that way you can name the sub accounts yourself. For example, you can name one like food, one like utilities, one like bills, and so forth. And then the other option is the envelope method, right? Now with this method, you have an envelope for everything. So for example, clothing, you have an envelope, you put the correct amount of money for clothing in that envelope. Utilities, you have another envelope, you put the correct amount of money in that envelope, and you put the correct amount of money in each envelope. Now, it really doesn't matter which one of these you choose, whether sub accounts or envelopes, but the point is you want to be able to divide your expenses and you want to put them in categories, and you want to put the correct amount of money in each category. Now, what I would suggest here is that you do the following things. Number one, you create a small emergency fund. This can be like $1,000. So first of all, save up $1,000 and put that in a different bank account or a sub account, or probably even an envelope somewhere. And that way, if anything pops up while you're trying to get your budget together, or while you're trying to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you don't actually have to destroy your process and your entire budget and then go back into the cycle and then have to start everything over from scratch again. You can simply just take that $1,000 that you saved to take care of that expense. So that is the first thing that you want to do. You want to create that emergency fund of at least $1,000. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to set your priorities and your goals straight. And then you also want to create new habits to help you. So for example, if you realize that you're spending $1,000 more than you're making every single month, then maybe your goal is now to have an additional $500 or $1,000 left back after all your expenses every single month. So your goals or your priorities will be different, but the point is you want to have a clear idea of what your goals are, and then you want to create new habits that will help you to stay in line with these new goals and these new priorities. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to start paying off all your debts, right? So if you have like credit card debt or just like personal loans and that kind of stuff, then you want to start paying down your debt, and you want to start paying this off very, very quickly, because you can actually save yourself a lot in interest payments. And I mentioned this before in other videos, but for example, if you have credit cards with debt on them, right? For every $1,000 that you have on that credit card, for example, if you have the average APR, which is like 24.49%, then you're essentially spending $250 per year for every $1,000 that you have on that credit card. So if you have like $10,000 in credit card debt, then you're essentially paying like $2,500 in interest every single year while you maintain this debt. And so you want to get rid of all that very quickly. And you can use the debt snowball method to do this if you're in a lot of debt. So you can try to put a pause on your debts. You can try to lower the APR on your debt, and then you want to save up for your emergency fund after you create your budget. And then you want to start paying down on your debts very quickly. And then once you get control of your debts and you're also able to pay them off, the next thing that you want to do is you want to increase your emergency fund. So now you need to save at least 3 months of expenses, because remember, initially in the video I said living paycheck to paycheck is simply, or it just simply means that if you lost your job or if you lost your income streams for 1 month or 2 months or even 3 months and you couldn't pay for all your expenses, then that means that you are currently living paycheck to paycheck. So now you want to have savings that are equal to 3 months of expenses, right? So for example, if you know that every single month you need $3,000 to survive, to pay your mortgage or your rent and your bills, your utilities, and just about everything, then you need to save $9,000, and that's going to be your emergency fund or your starting emergency fund. Now you can save more if you want to, but that should be the minimum savings in your emergency fund. Now once you do this, you've essentially just stopped living paycheck to paycheck, because now you have enough money to take care of you in case you lose your income streams. You're no longer in debt. You're on a budget, meaning that you know exactly how much you make and you know how much you spend and what you're spending your money on. And if initially you had to remove some stuff from your budget, for example, let's say you found out that you were spending a lot of money on things that you wanted but you didn't necessarily need, for example, like Amazon Prime or a Netflix subscription, and then you actually remove those subscriptions, now is the time when you can actually re-add those subscriptions and you can start using that stuff again, because now you don't have to worry about spending too much money on that stuff and then messing up with your bills if you lose your job or if your income goes down. Now the next step isn't required, but I think you should still do it, and this is investing at least at the very minimum 10% of your income, whether it's every week, every month, or every year. So if you're making like $50,000 a year, then your aim should be to invest at least $5,000 every single year. And in one of my previous videos, I broke this down. The difference between saving money and investing money in something simple and boring like a S&P 500 index, and it can be a lot. So for example, if you saved like $5,000 every year for 30 years, you'd have $150,000 saved. Now that is a lot of money. But if instead of saving, you simply invested that $5,000 every single year and you got like a simple 10% return, then you'd have around $998,000 and your contribution would still be $150,000. But from compounding and returns, you'd have over $840,000. So you always want to be investing, and you want to make it a priority to invest at least 10% of your income. If you can do more than that, then you should do more, but at least at the very minimum, you need to be doing 10% of your income. So getting out of the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck isn't really that hard. It's not like some complex strategy that you have to pay for, that you got to study some expensive courses. It's really simple. All you got to do is implement these steps that I just laid out in this video, and you can become debt-free and you can stop living paycheck to paycheck. And you can actually put yourself on the path to financial freedom. So with that said, comment down below. Let me know if you're still currently living paycheck to paycheck. Are you going to be trying any of the steps that I mentioned in this video? And if you have any other methods that you've used to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, comment them down below so we can all see those as well, because that may be able to help someone out as well. And with that said, all the best, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.